We're at the Central Illinois Threshermen's Reunion in Pontiac, Illinois. I'm from Indiana, so it's Illinois for whatever reason. But anyway, Massey Harris and Massey Ferguson is the featured tractor. And I'm gonna get you on camera. Paul and I are gonna walk through some of the tractors here, the Masseys. The Masseys don't get no love, do they? No. All right. This is 1952 Massey Harris 44 LP. It says wide axle assembly, and I would call it a standard myself, or a Wheatland, but the guy who probably owns it knows more about it than I do. So, but anyway, they didn't make a whole lot. I think they just made them 1 year in the Masseys, in the 44s I know of, in an LP. I've seen some conversions before, but this one here is a true LP tractor. You can tell by the intake manifold, because it's not connected to the exhaust manifold, except for these little bars that just mechanically fixes it together. Most tractors, it comes up there and it has a hot spot that helps atomize the fuel in the winter. So, and it's got all the regulators and stuff still intact on there. I don't know for sure if they have rice specials in these tractors, but a lot of these tractors that were LPs were sent to the south, and this tractor is a standard configuration tractor. And so most of the time that would be used in rice country, which is, of course, be like Arkansas and Louisiana and places like that. So you can't hardly see it anymore, but it's got 44 and it has a little circle right here, and that's usually where they put, LP or K for kerosene and what have you. But it's really neat because I've never seen a true LP 44, and it's got the sideways tank. I've seen in some of them that had the tank going the other way, so I don't know. Another thing that's really neat about this tractor, it's got a hand clutch. You don't see too many 44s that are hand clutch. Most of them are select, or at least I don't. You might get into the standard tractors and they may be more prevalent, but this is a neat tractor. Let's look at this one here. This is from the same person. It says Armstrong family. I believe these guys had the Friends of Massey reunion in 22, I think it was. Yeah, you can show them the picture of your hat.
Thank you.
We went over there. It was like Massey heaven. It was great. This is 44, high altitude. It says, high alt. And they ran on gasoline, and they had higher compression pistons designed to, when you're at high altitude, the air's thinner, there's not as much oxygen, so to make a 44 perform like a regular gasoline 44 at sea level, they upped the compression to make the engine perform at a higher horsepower level, so it would match, the horsepower would match from high altitude to low altitude. A lot of guys would put high altitude pistons in their regular 44 and then run better gasoline in it. Then they had a hot rod. But this one here has a single front wheel, which is, you don't see very many of them. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a rare option, but they're definitely less of those. It's got a, still the original tune on there, which is great. Foot clutch. And very complete tractor. This is a 1939 Super 101. Pretty sure this is probably the first year for these. So they're, it's a very early example. It's got the F&H rear wheels on it, which is didn't make a whole lot of those. It's got the mechanical lift instead of, you know, like hydraulic. It's all mechanical on the Masseys at this time period. It's got all the sheet metal on the outside, all the lubricant covers and what.
Original tires.
Yeah, they're pretty old tires, aren't they?
This one also has them.
Yeah. I don't understand the twin power part of it. I thought it was like, had 2 different RPMs they worked at, but I could be off. Early styled Challenger. I think when they styled them, they painted the Massey red with the straw-colored wheels, whereas the older ones are like a dark green, I believe. This one here has the F&H wheels on it on the front. I think they're F&H. They look like F&H wheels, put it that way. And then it's got flat spoke F&H wheels on the back. It looks like they're cut downs. They originally were, I'm not sure, I don't know, I haven't talked to the owner, but it's a, looks like a steel wheel that they cut off and put a rim on at some point when rubber tires become a thing. The Challengers are really neat because they have the like almost like a boilerplate that goes on the bottom of the tractor there. It goes from the front all the way to the transmission case in the back, or rear end case, and then that's the backbone of the tractor. This is when they started the twin power, which, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what they mean. I thought the motor ran at 2 different RPMs. You know, they had a low RPM for like cultivator work and a higher RPM for like, say, if you're plowing, you need all the, you know, all the power you can get.
I think it means to switch from low to high.
I don't know. I have no idea. This tractor's really neat. It got adjustable. The fenders are adjustable. You can adjust your fenders if your wheels are adjusted way out. It has a way to adjust the fenders out with the wheels. Here's an early mechanical cultivator lift. And these tractors here, this one here, it has a hand clutch, over center hand clutch, like there we say it, John Deere. We'll say Caterpillar because it's 100 years of Caterpillar this year. I always kind of liked Massey's way that they adjusted their wheels. Every one I seen, there was a snap ring in this groove, and you can go out there and put this wheel down there where you're getting right up against that snap ring and then tighten it up. So the snap ring may be in between here. I don't know for sure. It's a very, very nice example. Got chrome stack. This is a Massey Harris Mustang. They made these from, I think, it'd be the late 50s. They made these around the same time. They made the 33 and the 44, and I think they did away with the 22 and some of the smaller tractors. They had the Colt, the Pacer, the Mustang, and Colt, Pacer, Mustang. Oh, Pony. It's like one of the most popular ones. This one's pretty standard issue when it comes to the Mustang. This is a 44, and this one's a mystery to us. We're sitting there, it's got the little circle. So it could be an LP or a high altitude or kerosene. So we had to do a little sleuthing on this one. So we seen it had the starting tank where it started on kerosene or gasoline and then switched over to diesel. So that we decided that it was a kerosene. Now most of the kerosene tractors, they had lower octane, or they had to use the low octane either tractor fuel as they call it, distillate, or kerosene. They had a different intake manifold on them. It had a bigger area right here to heat, and usually it had a big shield over this that kept the heat in the manifold so it could atomize the kerosene. I don't know, they're kind of prone to getting cracked and broke, and well, they only made a handful of these, so probably not going to find one to put on there to replace it when it did crack. This tractor is a standard version, Wheatland, wide axle, whatever they want to call them. You know, they got wide fronts on the row crops, but that's a whole different thing. Let's go around back. It's got some nice rice tires on it. I think that, you know, with using kerosene, it probably come from the rice country down south where they had still had the LP and the kerosene available. Where up north we had the gasoline tractors. Has a hand clutch. There's another hand clutch tractor. It's
missing
other
seat.
than that, it's pretty well standard issue.
It is missing seat.
Different sizes. Alright, we're going to do these three together. There's a Mustang on your left, a 22 in the middle, and on the right, this is the Colt. I believe the 22 came first and then got replaced with the Mustang and the Colt. They're virtually the same tractor. All three of these are very similar tractors. They just got updated, like hydraulics and stuff, over the 22. I think the Colt is the smaller horsepower of the two, but I'm not for sure about that. I may have to look that up in my book when I get home. But physically, there's not that much difference between most of them. I would say that the 22 and the Mustang are virtually the same size tractor, but I don't really know why they did it Massey did it this way, because these two tractors, you think it would be the other way around. They'd be replaced with one tractor, but they separate it up into two. It's kind of a neat thing to think about, but I think it's all about horsepower.
Straight on the right, go to the left.
That's good enough. I may not even use it. Okay, this here's a unstyled Massey Harris pacemaker, but this one's interesting that it has citrus fenders on it, orchard fenders. It has all the pacemaker, the items on it, you know, with the boilerplate bottom frame. And this one here's, you know, unstyled, so it's the dark green paint with the red wheels. It's got the orchard covers on the wheels on the back, on the front. Let's go around and look at it. Usually the orchard tractors have you know, they have the lower operating system position and has a hand clutch. So that's just on most.
I know what this is. Oh, that's probably to stop the tractor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a kerosene burner. Older tractor. They were all kerosene. Pretty much World War II come around and they decided they figured out how to get more gasoline out of the barrel oil, and they didn't make as much kerosene that way. They made that into more gasoline, so it become less value. You know, it wasn't a waste product of the industry at that point. Let's go around and take a nice shot of the rest of the tractor.
It says it's a 1936.
36 it says. Well, back up and get a nice wide shot of it. This is an I-162 Massey. It says it's a 1953, and I don't know a lot about these. I noticed they have this really big generator, but this has got an all-enclosed electrical system. And from what I know about Jeeps, you know, that was one of the things that they were insistent on when they made, you know, the spec these out. They had enclosed electrical systems, so like, you know, they're impervious to moisture. Another neat thing that we've seen, it has these rings so they can hoist it like onto a, you know, overhead hoist. There's some on the back, you know. It's got this tag on it from the military, and it's also got this 444 LP row crop. On the left is a 444 gasoline version, and we'll do these together to kind of, they're both very nice tractors.
Start with the gas one.
This one's the gas version. Pretty, got the Continental 277 engine in it. Quite the powerhouse. Got the priority valve, so it goes up here, goes through that, and it goes to the power steering, and pressure goes back to the depth-o-matic hydraulic system. This one here, same way, other than it has LP equipment. This one has a Century on it instead of an Ensign. Guess they changed brands somewhere along the line. But it also has this one has the higher compression 277 that they, when they went to the 44 specials, they went to the 277 cubic inch engine, which is it was a good strong engine. Got the LP tanks. Now on these, they've turned the LP tanks the other way because they had complaints with the not being able to see when they cultivate and seeing front end equipment because they had this big tank in the way. A lot of your, when they went to the 444s, they all had cast centers on the wheels. This one has the clutch for this clutch will disengage and let the PTO run independent of the motor. It disengages the one side of the differential, and it just basically, the tractor can't go forward because all the power goes to that one side of the differential, and it just spins. That gear, you know, that clutch releases, and all the power goes to that point, but the PTO power is cooked to the motor, and it still works. It's real good for baling and stuff. Now, if they're not adjusted right, it's really bad for plowing because they'll slip and you'll stop going forward. This one, I think all the row crops had the power adjuster wheels. I haven't seen one that doesn't, so I could be wrong on that, but I could be wrong about a lot of things. It's got the true 3-point hitch on it. That come out, I think you could get a 44 and a 33 with these on there. A lot of guys have, yeah. Also, another one thing about the triples is they put the PTO down lower in the standard. You know, your older tractors had the PTO coming out right here. Well, I think they standardized and put it down there lower. I think they had ASNI standards on those at some point. They had to be a certain height from the drawbar. Or I could have been told wrong. Don't know. These are both very nice tractors. Very nice. A 44 Massey Harris here. Very, this was their money maker. They sold more of these than anything else. It was just some of the features on the Massey. All these Masseys had live hydraulics. John Deere, everybody else, most every other manufacturer did not have live hydraulics around all the time. Some of them come along later, but Massey had them from the get-go. The Continental 260 cubic inch engine was a very strong engine compared to, say, a lot of the other manufacturers. It was definitely a top-tier engine horsepower-wise. Massey had a very strong rear axle. Back in the 60s, I guess it was the axle that a lot of the tractor puller guys would use. Compared to a lot of different brands, it was very strong. But this is just as about as plain as one got. I don't know, it may not even have the let's see if it's got the nope, don't even have the hand clutch for the you could have a type of live power that you pull the lever back and it would stop the tractor from moving forward and PTO would still run. This one has a mounted planter on it, which is a very neat item. And it does have the cast centers in the rear for the rear wheels.
There's that snap ring you were talking about.
Yeah, still got the snap ring on those. But yeah, this has got the cast centers. A lot of them didn't have that. That was an option. Here's a 44 LP standard Wheatland. So it's an LP, it's gotta be what, a 1952, right? Yeah, there we go. There you go, 1952. Very nice example. This one has a foot clutch. Right, these are both 44 standards or Wheatlands. The one on the right has the cast wheels on the front. The one on the left has the sheet metal wheel stamped. Other than that, they're pretty much the same tractor. One's an older restoration, and the other one looks like she's still in its original work clothes. This here's a Massey Harris 555. This one's a gasoline version. It says it has a. This is a rice version, and it has a. Of course, it's the giant. Was it 23 by 20? 23 1 by 26 tires on the back with those awesome looking lugs on the back. The single rib wheels, but above that. This one here, you see the axle, it's got an arch in it. In the front. That's what makes it a rice special. There may be some other things that I can't remember right now, but this tractor's, of course we said gas, but it's also, it's got power steering. tractors didn't have the PTO. Has a hand clutch. I think that was, you could either get a hand clutch or you could get a foot clutch. Has provisions for a belt pulley. It didn't have the gear put in there. And on this side on the right, we got one that's still in the original condition. It's also, this is a rice tractor. It's got the arched front wheel axle. This one is a diesel. It has the Continental diesel engine. Cushioned power. Yeah, I'll get that. Always thought these were pretty. The hood ornament. This one here has a very nice. It's got one little bit of gunk on there. Guy told me that's the same spear as a 54 Ford Crestline or something like that. I don't know. He would know. This one has power steering. That's the separate pump from the hydraulic system. Starter the size of Kansas on there. I don't know. Where did they hide the batteries for this?
On the other side.
Oh yeah, these aren't hidden at all. They're right there on the side. I have a 33 diesel and they got a battery stuck up here and one down low. But it's got the provision for a PTO. This has all the original, the triple fuel filters. Still has the original solenoid. It's not hooked up, but still there, so points for that. Yeah, actually I see triple. Actually, that's the first filter. Then I think it goes to this one, this one, this one, then goes in. I could be wrong. I don't know. Probably am. Like I said, hand clutch. Has the. From what I've been told on these brakes, see they got this little spring right here. Some of them have it, some of them don't, and I guess that was an option. That having that spring on there was, it's kind of nice, you know. It wasn't an abrupt lock up on your brakes. Not a whole lot of options on these tractors, but they did what they can. Now, yeah, look at that one there. It doesn't have those springs on it on the brakes. Yeah, well, it's got it on this side, so I don't know. Even full of hooey. I'll have to look that up. Here's a Massey 33. These, I think these were from 53 to 55. I think they made these tractors. They replaced the Massey 30. A 33 over a 30 has one less of these slots in here. This has the same grill as a 44. There's a 44 right here beside us. They're the same height this way, but a 33 has this gap between this body line and the bot here, and you got a 44 over there, and you can see it's not as much as that one. That's a good way to tell a 33 from a 44 from a distance. It has the Continental 201 overhead valve engine. Very powerful little engine. Hard to get parts for, but it's very good engine. This one here is a very neat one. It has the mechanical lift like the old tractors have. The mechanical cultivator lift. Most of these had a hydraulic lift, the diplomatic lift, and a hydraulic pump. This one here does not have hydraulics. It has that mechanical lift on it. Can't say I've ever seen one of these combined, made together. So looks like he's plowing with it. Uh-oh, Caterpillar good enough here. We get sidetracked from now and again. It's got the sheet metal stamped wheels on it instead of cast centers. So looking at this tractor here, it would have been a very thrifty tractor whenever it was bought new. It was a very frugal individual who bought a 33 with no hydraulics and pressed steel rear wheels. Probably why he has to put the extra weights on it. This is a international plow. I don't know the difference between a Little Genius and what, they're all internationals to me. But yeah, 2-bottom trip plow would be very well suited to this tractor. Looks like she's all shined up, so she's been working. This here is a 44 with a 6-cylinder engine in it. They had a Continental, I think it's a Continental 226, I think F226, inline 6 flathead that they had as an option on the 44s for the guys that wanted a 6-cylinder version for like belt work. They're really good. Most of the time, you'll find a 44.6 that'll have a belt on it because they were so smooth for belt work. A lot of the fresher guys that still did that really like the 44.6 for that. Most of them are. This is the 101 that was before this. So see, this one here has the mechanical cultivator lift instead of the hydraulics on it. And also the 44.6 has the wider hood in this area, just like the 33, but has a huge gas tank. Restoring your 44 and you wonder why has this got an extra set of holes in it, that's why. 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder. Other than that, same tractor as far as I know. Here's a good example of the difference between a Colt and a Pacer. Here on your left, this is a Pacer. It's like a step up from the Pony. It's made on the same platform and everything, but it may have a slightly bigger engine than a Pony. So if you have some work that you had for a small tractor but just need a little bit bigger one, this would be the tractor you get. I know zilch about these tractors, these Pacers and Ponies and stuff, because I had no interest in them, but they're kind of neat. So we're just going to have Paul do a walk around on this one.
Got a little leak.
Yep. This is the Colt. It's the step up from the Pacer. And then we was having a discussion which one is the Mustang would be the bigger tractor, then a Colt, then a Pacer, and then a Pony. So, like again, I don't know much about this, but we'll just let you guys just have a look at this tractor because I think this is there's only a few Colts here. I believe it has does it have a 3-point hitch on it? I think it's got a step right there.
Ah, it's a 3-point hitch. Safety first.
This is the Massey Harris 202, is one of the biggest of the time. It's the, it was their big Wheatland tractor, the big standard tractor. Had a 6-cylinder flathead, I think Continental motor in it. It says here on the side of it, says one of 223 built. And do a walk around on it. I don't know a whole lot about these either. This here is a Massey 33K with kerosene. You can see here it has the intake manifold. This is a regular intake manifolds inside, and then it has this cast sleeve so the exhaust can kind of come around and it heats that pipe that's in there in the intake, and it warms that charge up, fuel charge in there. Kerosene is a heavier fuel and it has to be hot for it to atomize and be burned into the cylinders properly. Otherwise it'll knock and bang, kind of like spark knock really bad. This is a beautiful version. This is really sharp tractor. It has a lot
with a single front wheel.
Yep, it has a lot of options. It's got the single one wheel in the front, little short guy. Let's see, what else does it have? It has a belt pulley. It has a metal belt pulley. They would use different belt pulleys to different diameters to get the belt speed to go the correct. That belt has to have the correct. They call it surface speed. It's how many feet per minute it the belt goes, and they use different size pulleys to get that belt speed right, to get it to be correct on the other end. This tractor has 5 hydraulics on it. Of course, it's got the starter tank for the kerosene. And this knob here, it runs. You turn that in and out, and it has radiator filters up here at the front. Well, it's supposed to. They're not there. But anyway, this tractor has a 3-point hitch because it's got this step on it. Let's see if it's got the 3-point hitch. Oh, loaded. This is neat on the Masseys. So if you got your PTO up high, right, and you want to run something off the PTO here, well, you got to run that shaft through this opening. Say like you got let's say a mower on the back, and you'd have to run that shaft to hook on here and go down. Well, that shaft would have to go through this opening here to get the geometry right on the 3-point. So they made this big hoop in the top link of the 3-point. It's got this is a stabilizer system on these.
And it appears as aftermarket power steering.
Yeah, it's got a Charlene power steering on it.
Very neat.
This is a very nice 444. Paul, why is this screen here?
The screen's there to hide the hydraulic tank.
Well, it's actually here to. It's a bug screen, but for the stuff will get in the radiator. But they didn't want to see the hydraulic tank back there, so they painted that gold. That's what Paul says.
It is true.
He says it's true. I have no need to doubt it. I think these have the 277 in them still. Fabulous engine, Continental made. You can see here it's got a tachometer drive on the back of the distributor. Back of the generator. Goes up here. It's got a tachometer. It's got an hour meter on it. It's got the live power clutch on it. Let's see what else. These tractors had the disc brakes on. Yeah, I think all the 44, some of them had it, and all the triples had it. This has, these had a 5-speed transmission with a high and low. So they effectively have 10 speeds, I believe. Yeah, there's the lever up there. These tractors they covered the hydraulic system. It's very similar to the olders. It has the cylinder and stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I'm right on that one or not. Anyway, this here cover it made them a little nicer. Usually you buy one of these and these covers are all taken off, and they were hanging on the shed and didn't get sold to the tractor at the auction. But yes, these had a high-low transmission with the 5-speed, and they have an upgraded hydraulic system on them.
Hey, what's this pedal?
Well, that releases the parking brake. You click that, and they finally got a little lever on them brakes that swung over. I think the old ones had a pin that went across for when you go down the highway, what they call a road brake, so it would apply both brakes at the same time. I think on these they got a little lever that slides over. I think. I'll have to go look. They have a little flipper on these like the Farmalls had. Of course, this one's, I'm not going to mess with it too much on my tractor. But yeah, the old ones just had a pin that went across these two. Not very convenient to switch over. So nobody did it, and the pin got lost.
Let's see.
Not that I know of. I mean, they're just a 44, only better. So
Yeah.
this one's got an aftermarket front axle on it.
Yeah.
Is that a Schwartz or? Yep, that's a Schwartz front end.
I know nothing, but it's here.
All right. Now, we had it earlier. We had the Massey 33 that didn't have a whole lot options on it. Here's the other side of the spectrum. This is a Massey that has everything on it. So it's got the factory wide front. It's got the screen still on it for the trash screen. This has got the front rock shaft for it'd be like cultivators. You used to have to lift the cultivators when you used hydraulics. Has the extra hydraulics spinner in the front. Has the cast wheels, at least on the back, and has the full complement of a 3-point.
At 1 p.m.
The
on the
full.
polling track on the
It has
west
everything.
side of the
All the
grounds.
cards are here.
At
He
1
doesn't
p.m.
have his
at the
3.
polling track
He doesn't
on
have
the
his
west side of the grounds. The parade of power will begin.
center link.
1 p.m.
But I'm sure he's got
parade
one
of
somewhere.
power.
As
Line
much
up
as
at
he's
the
got
north end for steam engines, prairie tractors, Massey
the
exhibitor
Diplomatic.
tractors, and then all other exhibitors.
Walking around on this side of it.
I'd like to thank Flanagan Implement, Aftershock, Prairie Street Tractors,
Just,
Hybrid,
hand clutch.
and Pontiac Tourism.
Yep, got the PTO hand clutch on it. Yep. Pretty decked out unit. Did a good job on it. It's got a paint job on it you can shave in. It's pretty awesome. Like this one. I hope my 33 diesel turns out this way. Yeah. We have a pony, finally. We found one. It's in its work clothes. Looks like it just got done mowing the yard. I guess the front axle is different. This one's got an arched front axle, and then the Pacer that we was trying to compare it to over here, it's got a front end on it. It is a lighter duty tractor. It definitely has a smaller, it appears to have a smaller engine in it. I don't know if it does or not. Couldn't tell.